Well, hello there, Battle Brothers, and welcome to another video, and welcome to another review video. Today, my dear friends, once again we are going to venture into the grimdark universe of Warhammer 40k. Oh yes, once again I couldn't be more excited. If you've been following European lore for quite some time, you know I only got into Warhammer 40k about 5 months ago, and I have waited deliberately to read this book. I have been postponing it until I know enough about the universe, about the lore, about the background, because simply I had thought, and it has been proved, that the Space Wolves were going to be my favorite Astartes chapter, simply because they are basically old Norse people in space. People call them like Vikings in space, but let us not forget that not every Norseman was a Viking. But given their profession, yeah, we could basically call them Vikings in space, can't we? So they're basically Vikings in space. And so, come on, I mean, yeah, why am I holding this? Where usually I'm holding a book, the book that I'm reviewing. Well, it's because it's... now we are getting to my only gripe with the Black Library and with the Games Workshop, and it's the fact that unfortunately they are not keeping their older books in print, and that of course includes the Space Wolf Omnibus, which and now it changed automatically to the second volume, which I'm just about to read. So yeah, I'm reading it digitally, but yeah, what can you do? People have sent me some links to like eBay books, paperbacks for like 70 euros. I'm not buying a 70 euro used paperback, come on. But what matters is the contents, you know, the story as written by William King. Now I know some of you will be suggesting the Gotrek and Felix omnibus, and I am going to get to that, don't worry, I'm going to get to Warhammer Fantasy as well. And so what do I think about the first volume of the Space Wolf? What do I have to say? It's everything that I thought it would be and more. It's just, it only proved what I discovered just from the get-go, from the beginning, when I started reading about the Space Marines, you know, the Astartes, that each and every single chapter has something very specific about them, that, you know, each and every chapter, each and every, like, type of Space Marine, they have their own specific characteristics and their own specific traits, which, of course, largely they inherited from their Primarchs, you know, their respective Primarchs. In this case, it's Leman Russ. Them, you know, having their homeworld on Fenris, which, of course, once again, is not common to each and every single Astartes chapter, given the fact that, for example, the Dark Angels, they lost Caliban, so they don't really have a home planet anymore. And then there are a lot of like successor chapters that spawned from the original legions. We are talking about here like one of the initial Astartes legions that you know, were created at the times before the Great Crusade, and during the Great Crusade, and then, you know, they traveled and ventured and fought with the Emperor. And then, you know, Leman Russ got introduced, and he became their Primarch. But here we are talking about Warhammer 40k, the 41st millennium, not heresy. So the main character is, of course, Ragnar, the future Ragnar Blackmane, which a lot of people know. I mean, I think he might be one of the more famous characters of Warhammer 40k, having a model since late 1980s, early 1990s, a character who was born on Fenris, which, you know, apart from being the home planet and like the headquarters of the Space Wolves, where they have their Fang, their huge monstrous fortress where they live and like, you know, just go to rest, you know, get reinforcements, but they also train their new Astartes there. So he is from that planet. They recruit their new recruits from that planet. He's one of them, and he is discovered by an elderly, of quote unquote, because they don't really age as normal humans do, space wolf. And so there was this strife between the tribe of Ragnar and an enemy tribe, and there was this huge battle, and like they slaughtered each other, and you know, the chosen young like aspirants have been chosen, have been picked. And I love the fact that William King was able to implement like all kinds of like layers of storytelling. So for example, the fact that there was this guy from the other tribe. I finished reading the book like 2 weeks ago. I've already forgotten some of the names, but I will be reminded of them, right? Tonight I'll start reading the second volume. Because in the meanwhile, I read Fulgrim from the Horus Heresy, which I reviewed yesterday on this channel. I'm just devouring Warhammer. So this review is all over the place. And so, of course, he has to deal with the fact that he wants to avenge his tribe. He wants to kill this enemy of his from the enemy tribe. But of course, you know, there is this aspect of them suddenly becoming battle brothers from, you know, the same chapter, the Space Wolves. And then what do? You know, do you succumb to the hate, to your desire for revenge? Or do you put that aside, you know, like throw it behind you and honor the legacy of the Space Wolves, become an Astartes, make friends with this former enemy? And then of course, it's the entire process of the aspirants becoming the battle brothers of the Space Marines chapter, the Space Wolves chapter, was described in detail. Among others, the fact that they drank the Felix, something like that. I'm blanking on the Latin name, but this is substance. Is this like enhanced gene seed that was implanted? They drank the young aspirants, so that they were given like even more specific like abilities that are very specific to the Space Wolves, like enhanced senses, like you know, like smell and hearing and sight, and of course their very specific fangs. And what I also love is this is they really, like, they are Vikings in space. I mean, on Fenris, you know, we've got creatures such as trolls and like sea serpents and all kinds of creatures that are taken straight from Norse myths. And they call the Emperor the All-Father, which is one of the names for Odin. And you know, all the imagery, all the iconography that you can see on their armor, and then there are runes everywhere, and it's just like, you know. And besides that, you know, the people of Fenris, their legends include concepts such as, you know, the Hall of the Dead and the Hall of the Warriors, where warriors go after they perish in battle. There are, you know, the Choosers of the Slain, which is once again taken from Norse mythology, when a part of the warriors slain in battle went to Valhalla or Valhalla with Odin, and the other part went with Freya to her halls. Folkvanger, I think it was called. So the concept and the name, the word itself, the Choosers of the Slain, it is in Norse mythology. I even used it in one of my books, a poetry collection of alliterative poetry based on Old Norse myths and legends, and then of course taken and put into, well, perspective of a person from the 21st century. And I even think that I wrote a poem here called Freya, which then of course includes the word Folkvanger. And that is, of course, referring to the Choosers of the Slain. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There's the word. There's the word. A long, long time before I read the Space Wolves Omnibus. So, all in all, I mean, it was to, you know, I expected it. I expected that I would love the Space Wolf stories, that Ragnar would be one of my favorite characters, that the Space Wolves would most certainly be like my favorite chapter or Legion. And I'm more than excited to read the rest of the omnibus. There's even a second volume, and then of course I would love to read the Thousand Suns and the Burning of Prospero duology from the Horrid Heresy series, which is all about Leman Russ and his Legion, and Magnus and his Thousand Sons. So yeah, I'm all in. Couldn't be more excited. Can't wait to read more. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, the Emperor protects.